For my presentation, I have Nuclear War and Dirty Bombs by Charlie Zoia. Some brief history. The first nuclear weapon was built on July 16, 1945. It was developed in the U.S. under the U.S. government by Robert Oppenheimer, who was a German scientist at the time. The atomic bomb was developed to end World War II. The U.S. ended up dropping 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki on August 6th and August 9th of 1945. Following the end of World War II, the arms race and the Cold War began between the USA and the USSR. It ended up with both countries having thousands of nuclear warheads that could hit any area in the world within minutes of them deciding to blow that area up. The relation to social justice. Nuclear weapons relate to social justice similar to war, but to the extreme of it. If we use nuclear weapons in war, we go directly against the just war theory, which is shown in Tyler Rooney's slides, which as of now the church teaches on war. One of the contingencies of the just war theory is proportional destruction. It states that if we are to engage in war, then the destruction brought about by war must not exceed the damage done if we don't go into war. Saying that if one country invades us and we do not fight back, would the country that's invading do more damage, or would us engaging in war do more damage? Uh, Typically, this won't happen, but I will show a case of this later. Only exception on which nuclear weapons may be permissible is, as I stated before, with World War II, but I will touch back on this later with some better points and more information. The Church's position on the subject. The Catholic Church has also warned against policies that normalize nuclear weapons or the use of them, such as nuclear brinkmanship, policies that envision nuclear use or seek to make nuclear weapons more usable, nuclear weapons modernization programs, and policies that protect weapons but not the people. Essentially, what is being said in this quote is that the church strongly disagrees with everything surrounding nuclear weapons, the use of them, the development of them, or programs that just normalize them in general. They find all of that to be dangerous, and that the danger that comes about from nuclear warheads and dirty bombs comes nowhere close to bringing any good to having them. My possible solutions would be to end the production of them and to start destroying them in a way that does not hurt anybody or the environment. We have already started to do this a little bit, but if every country would start doing this, it would bring war back to a state of where you would have actual casualties and not just one massive number. It would be, instead of where you have a gun pointed at one person and they're just pointing back and you're not shooting because you're going to get shot back, it would bring war into something that, if you're going to engage in it, you know exactly what you're getting into, and it will no longer have mass destruction in a way that can happen within seconds. My first real life example of this would be the dropping of the first 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This took place in the end of 1945, and it was kind of the end of World War II. I am stating this is the one time that nuclear warheads have had a use that has not been strictly not permissible. My only reason for this is that it was out of the principle of double effect. At this point, between 70 and 85 million people had already been killed during World War II, and the US believed that if they were to drop these two bombs, they'd be saving a lot more of millions of lives out of this one group of mass casualties. They killed 190, 129 to 126,000 people, which is a lot, and we should be praying for those souls who died, but that was just a consequence of trying to bring peace. Similar to if you go in and you remove the tubes in a mother who is dying because of birth, and it accidentally kills the fetus, but you do not mean to kill the fetus, you mean to save the mother. My second example is the war between Ukraine and Russia. Essentially, Russia invaded Ukraine for reasons that we can't begin to understand. But NATO's response to this was point long-range and short-range nuclear warheads at Russia, basically saying that if you don't back off, we will blow you to oblivion. Unlike the last example, this is straight up wrong. The war itself is wrong, but the way they're trying to stop it is even worse. NATO is escalating things by involving nuclear weapons. Large countries, especially like Russia, if they will feel threatened, they will threaten back. Essentially, they're pinned up against a wall, and their only way out is to fight back. This is why a couple months ago, when this first started, it was believed that we were going to be going into World War III out of scare because it would be a nuclear war. And then lastly, my discussion questions. Do you think nuclear weapons were warranted in World War II? Explain. And then, does the protection by nuclear warheads outweigh the risk? Thank you.